2022 is going to be very different. Now, we've got a couple of things that are coming, that are already happening, things that are shifting, that is going to make that market of 2022 very interesting. So what I'm going to be doing is taking you along my day and kind of talking about some points that I want to get out there. And no, this is not a market crash video. So as you probably already know, the market is hot. It's hot for everyone, not just Orlando. The whole country is in an upward trend with a lack of inventory and historically low interest rates. So that's the key thing I want to focus on in this video is inventory and interest rates. Now, the Fed says that they're going to start tapering and stop printing money, and they're going to bring up the interest rates. But the thing is, a lot of analysts and a lot of people who know what they're talking about say that we won't be seeing anything higher than a 4% interest rate by the beginning of 2023. So a lot of them are saying 3.75 by the end of 2022. Look, if we're at a 4% interest rate, that's the same number we had in 2018 when I bought my house. And it was still a very competitive market at that time. 4% interest rate, still low compared to the 70s. So combine that with what we have right now for most of the United States. We have a 1 month's supply, which means that, you know, if all the houses sold and we're under contract, we'd have 1 month before all the houses sold. So that means that we're in a pressured seller's market. We won't be able to get into a neutral market until we hit 4, 5, 6 months of inventory, which is about, in this market for Orlando, that is specifically around maybe 6,000 homes on market. So we would have to have that very fast, just jump into the market for us to have a neutral market where people might get their closing costs covered. People might get assistance with payment and down payment and all that. But we are not seeing that trend. And the whole thing about foreclosures is, look, if you're looking at foreclosures as a thing that might happen, yes, in any given market, there's always going to be a foreclosure. However, how much it impacts the market is what we're going to be talking right now, because these people who are out of the forbearance period can't make the payments and will go into foreclosure have the option to take on that equity, which means that they could put it on market. Their house, let's just say they bought it for $100,000 in 2018. Right now, they'll probably have about $30,000 to $50,000 in equity, which means that they're not upside down in their mortgage. So in reality, if they sell and they sell it before they have to go through the whole foreclosure process, then they're still gonna get out with money and sell a house at a competitive price. So the whole thing about foreclosures coming in waves, that's not realistic. And that's the whole thing about this, is being realistic in what might happen next year for 2022. So a trend that we could possibly get into next year is people moving into condos and townhomes because they're being priced out of the single family residential category. And what you have to think about that is, right now, condos and townhomes, because of the HOAs or CDDs that they have in the community, they might not be as attractive. But once we get into that point where people are saying they give up, they're pushed out of the market from single family homes, and they get into them, that's gonna start looking way more attractive to them, which would only bring the prices up for condos and townhomes even higher. That's the thing. Condos and townhomes didn't see an increase in prices like single family homes because people wanted space. People wanted to be away from other people because of, you know what? That is something that is in the past now. People are they're less thinking about, you know, what happened last year. So now they're just trying to get into a property that they can build equity on or start a family. And you're gonna see that this trend is gonna increase. It's gonna be a huge increase in demand for condos, townhomes in the area. Doesn't matter where you are, it's gonna happen. And here in Orlando, we already see that trend coming to fruition, where people are just left and right. We need a condo, we need a condo. I sold 3 condos in the past 4 months, and every time the sale price went up by about $10,000. And these are condos that do not look attractive at all. As long as they have a HOA that is manageable, and people think that they can rent it out for more later, people are gonna get in. Doesn't matter the square footage, as long as it has a good structure, close proximity to things, people are gonna get in. So when will we see a crash? Because that's probably what everyone is asking about. When is the prices gonna start correcting? Look, you can't predict the market. Any market, it's just like the stock market. You cannot predict anything. What you have to do is look at what are the correlations, what are the indicators, how do you forecast this, this, and this? And then you ask yourself, okay, well, you see that there are homes are lasting longer on market. So the average days on market goes from 28 to 32. And it happens for a longer period of time, because if you know real estate, it's lagging indicator. So anything that happens right now, today, will take into effect 3 to 6 months later. So when you look at indicators, you have to think, okay, well, this has already been happening because you're seeing it now in the market. So if you see the average days on market goes from 28 to 32 to 35, and it'll be small changes here and there, you'll be able to tell, okay, well, the market's looking like it's in favoring, it's going more towards a neutral or buyer's market. We won't see a buyer's market until we have enough inventory. What is enough inventory? Enough inventory is subjective to where you're at. It's local. Real estate is hyper local. That's why no one will ever be able to predict the crash all over the United States. It'll be hitting every city differently. So Orlando would get hit by a crash, but maybe another city won't. Or California might get hit by a crash, but Georgia or Florida won't. So it's really local to the market that you're in. What's up, everyone? My name is Ben. I'm a local realtor here in Orlando, Florida. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. If you haven't seen my channel before, I talk about real estate and all things coming to Orlando. Be sure to like this video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe.